I think that she could destroy this case.
I will say I was thoroughly enjoying the interviews, you know, like everyone else. I was giggling and cracking up and stuff. But then when I put my federal prosecutor hat on, I was like, oh no, she's compromising the integrity of the investigation.
Right. A special grand jury in the great state of Georgia. They are now tasked with probing election interference accusations against former President Trump and his allies. Now, here's the problem. The grand jury's forewoman, a woman by the name of Emily Kohrs, has now embarked on what is a truly bizarre, potentially unethical, countrywide press tour. And to date, no one has been indicted in Georgia, and the investigation is supposed to be ongoing. That is not stopping Emily Kohrs from gushing about her experience in the grand jury. Let's see, she's talked to the New York Times, the AP, Fake News CNN, MSDNC, NBC News, and it appears that the jury forewoman is overjoyed with the prospect of potentially putting former President Trump behind bars, but will be disappointed if no charges are filed. Now, she was dying as the foreperson. It would have been her job to swear in the president. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? She didn't get that opportunity. Now, watch, though, as she's smirking and smiling and laughing her way through several what are bizarre and insane interviews. Take a look.
Did the grand jury recommend an indictment of former President Trump?
I'm not going to speak on exact indictments.
So nothing that would surprise people who have been following this?
Probably not. I wouldn't want to characterize anyone else's reaction, of course, but so that was when we heard a lot in testimony. But probably not.
Did you personally want to hear from the former president?
I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment.
There are indictments recommended, of course. Is it more than 12 people? Is it more than 20 people?
I think if you look at the page numbers of the report, there's about 6 pages in the middle that got cut out. Allow for spacing. It's not a short list.
Not a short list. After everything that you've seen, what would your reaction be if the DA decides against bringing any charges after what you've seen?
I will be sad if nothing happens. Like that's about my only request there is for something to happen.
Does she seem impartial to anybody in this audience? Oh, okay. Does she even appear competent? Does she understand the gravity of the situation? Okay, laughing at the prospect of literally ruining people's lives, putting them behind bars, taking away their liberty, their freedom. This is not acceptable. It's not appropriate. It's not how justice in America is supposed to work. That, what we saw, is a travesty. In fact, it might even be against the law. We'll check in with our experts in a few minutes. Now, according to the grand jury handbook, there is one in the state of Georgia. Jurors, quote, shall keep the deliberations of the grand jury secret unless called upon to give evidence thereof in some court of law in this state. Oh, is CNN or the New York Times or MSDNC, is that a courtroom? I don't think so. The same handbook also makes the following recommendations, quote, do not discuss cases with your fellow jurors or anyone else outside of the jury room. And according to a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court, quote, the proper functioning of our grand jury system depends upon secrecy of grand jury proceedings. She was telling us everything she thought about pretty much everybody. Any fair judge will throw out any conclusions of this special grand jury. Now, still, it is unclear if the jury forewoman broke any laws during her press tour, but tonight, even the media mob, they are deeply concerned about her actions and her behavior, and they should be. Take a look.
Good Lord. The mere fact that you have the right to do something, and she has a right to speak as a citizen, and even the grand jury rules in Georgia, as long as she's not speaking about deliberations, she's allowed to. The mere fact that you have the right doesn't mean that you ought to do it. She's undermined the integrity and independence of the grand jury.
This is just
you know, at least in my experience covering courts, not helpful to a district attorney when they are trying to put their case together.
This is a horrible idea, and I guarantee you that prosecutors are wincing watching her go on this.
I was wincing just watching her eagerness to, like, you know, hint at stuff.
But I think that she could destroy this case.
I will say I was thoroughly enjoying the interviews, you know, like everyone else. I was giggling and cracking up and stuff. But then when I put my federal prosecutor hat on, I was like, oh no, she's compromising the integrity of the investigation.